Welcome back to The Word. I'm your host, Max Dutton, reporting for the Baker Orange. On this week's episode, we will take a deep look into the Gessner WiFi problems, sit down with Baker running back J.D. Woods, and see how the new Casey's opening up in Baldwin City will affect the community. For Baker students, Wi-Fi problems have become a common issue around campus. Students took matters into their own hands by conducting a survey of the residents living at Gessner. They found the rooms that regularly experienced slow Wi-Fi were located the farthest away from the center of the building.
We went around the dorm rooms and we went to each individual room and got a survey collected from the people living here, a 1 to 5 scale, and they just gave us where they rated the Wi-Fi here. The more centered you are in the Gessner building, is the stronger the Wi-Fi will be for you, and on the outer edges of the building is where it gets a lot weaker. And that's where the dissatisfaction comes from.
For those students looking to have better Wi-Fi, it might be worth trying to snag one of those rooms near the middle of the building. One person who never has issues with being slow is Baker running back J.D. Woods. Woods scored 5 touchdowns on Saturday as the Wildcats won the opening round of the NAIA football playoffs against Olivet Nazarene University.
I wouldn't say, it's just me. Offensive line, that goes into a lot of that. Obviously, Marco's getting us in and out of the right checks with Zeke, Taiwan, AJ, and all those guys' feedback. And Nate, they're helping me out also on the edge blocking. So it's a team effort. Obviously, it's cool to score 5 touchdowns and get to see it over social media. But without them and the coaches, I wouldn't be in that position.
Despite committing 5 turnovers in the game, the Baker football team was able to come from behind and defeat Olivet Nazarene in the first round of the NAIA Football Championship Series, 59-54. With the win, the Wildcats will now travel to Sioux City, Iowa to take on Morningside on Saturday, April 24th.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Brendan Hulla, and this is the 2-Minute Drill. Let's get into it. We'll start off with men's and women's tennis, who had a home set at Baker's own Laurie Tennis Courts this weekend. It started off with a 1-6 loss for the men's team on Thursday against Bethel College. They then came back on Saturday for both the men's and women's team's senior day, where the men's team lost 2-5 and the women's team lost 3-4, both losses coming against crosstown rival Ottawa University. These matchups were the last of the season for the squads, ending the men's season with a 2-14 record and the women with a 7-8 final record. Thank you to our tennis seniors. Next, we'll head over to the NAIA Women's Soccer opening round for the Wildcats matchup against number 11 ranked John Brown University in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. After coming back to tie a 3-1 deficit in the 55th minute, the back and forth game ended up going the Golden Eagles' way, ending in a 4-3 loss for the Wildcats. This ends the ladies' season with a record of 12-6-1, but their appearance in the NAIA National Championship was their first since 2016. Congrats to the ladies on a very successful season. After COVID-19 suspended a portion of the Baker Wildcat softball team's schedule, the ladies were back in action this weekend, starting with a Saturday doubleheader against Missouri Valley College. The team dropped Game 1 8-10 and then lost Game 2 1-2. They then turned around and played another doubleheader on Sunday against the Park Pirates. This doubleheader swayed the Wildcats' way, with Baker coming away with a 5-1 win in the game and a 12-3 dub in Game 2. The weekend brings the squad's record to an even 8-8, with their next game coming April 22nd in the form of a doubleheader at Central Methodist University. Good luck, ladies, and we're glad to have you back. Last but not least, we have the Baker baseball team. They started playing this weekend on Saturday at Evangel University, losing the first game of the doubleheader 1-3, then losing Game 2 1-2. They then had another 2-game set against Evangel on Monday, this time winning both games by scores of 5-1 and 13-10, bringing the team's record to 17-23 with their next game coming Saturday, April 24th against number 4 ranked Central Methodist University. Thanks for tuning in to this week's 2-Minute Drill. We'll be back once again next week to give you an update on sports from the upcoming week. We'll see you then. Back to you, Max.
This week, Marissa and Dara investigated some campus life hacks to make sure you get the most out of your Baker experience. Let's take a look at what they did.
Welcome back, Baker Wildcats. My name is Dara Underwood. We understand that campus life can be hard sometimes, so today we're going to talk to you about campus life hacks.
I'd say my campus life hack is going to the cafeteria as early as possible. I usually like to get in and out of there pretty quick before all the athletes and other students getting into class are there, so that's one hack.
For me, it was finding a spot on campus to study that nobody else knew about. And for me at the time, it was in this building in the library, all the way up on the 3rd floor back in a corner, and no one was ever there, and I could always be really quiet and get my studying done.
Build a network before you need it. So the people that are doing the job that you want to do, get to know them now. Don't wait till your last semester of school.
Do not order anything for a Saturday delivery, as we are not here, so it will not be delivered. Save your money.
I wish I would have known those as a freshman. Thanks for watching. This is Dara Underwood.
To catch up on other things going on in the Baker community, we start with the Baker Orange News Rundown. Once a year, Baker University hosts one day dedicated to raising money for the school. The Day of Giving encourages the Baker family, friends, and community members to give back. The Day of Giving 2021 will take place on April 22nd. Due to COVID-19 social distancing guidelines, the event will be completely, entirely through social media. This year, efforts will be focused on raising funds for each academic major at Baker. When the event is complete, the department chair over each major will have complete control to decide what those funds will be used for. Baker Fine Arts is celebrating a successful showcase of performances from this weekend. Baker students recently performed 2 plays and held a concert in Sullivan Square in downtown Baldwin City. Artwork is also on display in the Lumberyard Arts Center. The event planning began when faculty members of the music department and the theater department realized they were scheduling events at the same time in Hartley Plaza. This created a great opportunity to merge the 2 events. Baker is celebrating Dr. Tim Hodges after he received an award for the Counselor of the Year from the Kansas Counseling Association. According to the KCA's website, anyone who serves either as a full-time counselor, counselor educator, or in counseling-related service is eligible for the award. The nominees must display outstanding leadership qualities and must actively help to further develop their community. Hodges has been serving the Baker community for 13 years. For more information on these stories, visit thebakerorange.com.
In a small town like Baldwin City, Kansas, it's hard to miss the construction of a new gas station. While the addition of Casey's General Store has been very exciting for the Baldwin community, it's also raised some interesting questions. How will communities support 2 gas stations when they're directly across the street from each other?
I honestly feel like Casey's is going to do better if it came down to a competition, because like the Quick is just so kind of basic. But Casey's, you got everything like pizzas and all that type of stuff.
I feel like the Casey's will probably have better business just because they're a bigger company and they can probably keep their gas prices lower.
I grew up in DeSoto and we had a Casey's there, so we'd go there, get pizza, get drinks and stuff after school or something like that. So I kind of prefer Casey's.
With construction coming to an end, students should expect their popular breakfast pizzas very soon. Before we wrap up this week's episode, we would like to congratulate Dylan Court on winning the Baker Orange water bottle for being the first comment on our live show video. Congratulations, Dylan. Well, that'll do it. Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Word. Remember to keep up to date with all things Baker Orange by following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Baker Orange. While you're at it, you can also follow the Twitter pages for our show at BU_The Word. See you next week.